Good evening folks, and Gary's back at the Starship to bring you the very best PC Engine shoot 'em ups for the system. Now I'm not going to review every single brilliant shoot 'em up out there, there are too many of them. I just picked 6 which I think are the best. So let's start off with Winds of Thunder, otherwise known as Lords of Thunder. You can select 4 armour types. Each armour type gives you some protection and firepower against the enemy in the different levels. You can play 5 different levels every time you start a game, so you get to see quite a bit of action from the word go. Levels are beautifully drawn and the music is absolutely superb. Power-ups litter the screen, like a cat's just crapped everywhere and left lots of power-ups for them. Enemies are extremely diverse and the game moves at an extremely rapid pace. Winds of Thunder is probably the craziest, most full-on shoot 'em up on the system. There's constant variation in levels, and enemies can make you thick and fast. Seems to be a bit of a stock phrase of mine there. It's a gothic themed, sort of fantasy RPG themed shoot 'em up. It's quite unusual on the engine. Likes of Spriggan, which we'll see later, and Soulja, which I haven't reviewed because it's so damn expensive, are also slightly fantasy themed shoot 'em ups, and I think it works extremely well. Enemy battles are very challenging and give you a good run for your money. There's so much energy in this game, you literally want to go and dance your tits off and take some paracetamol. I really do think the level design is beautiful in this game, and it gets top marks for graphics in my book. There's lots of clever features in the game, such as bits of level coming out at you trying to grab you and bite you and knacker you. You won't be disappointed if you invest what is required for this game, which is about £40, $60. It's well worth it, take it from me. Okay, next up is Spriggan. This is one of the most highly rated vertical scrolling shooters on the system, again in a sort of fantasy, dungeon-esque way. It's so fast moving, it'll have you hanging on to your pants. There's all sorts of crap flying around the screen at you. Skulls, spaceships, floating turds, well maybe not the turds, but all sorts of caped crusaders and helmeted baddies trying to generally fuck you up. The music's pretty awesome and the graphics are just unbelievably good. It really is a stunning game. It's pretty expensive, it's about £50, about $80. I really recommend it. Most of these games I'm only playing through the first couple of levels because I'm pretty shit at them, to be honest. Once you give them a good go and get through the first 2 or 3 levels, you'll see that there's probably even more to them than meets the eye from this quick review. I love the way the smart bombs leave that nuclear flash behind. Brilliant. They did that in the sequel as well, as you'll see a bit later. Stunning levels, amazing gameplay. You'll really be coming back for more on this one. The weapons are really varied. Every weapon's got a different sort of capability, different firing range. So there'll be plenty to keep you engrossed. Okay, straight on with Gate of Thunder. This is a Hudson soft shooter, so I've got pretty high hopes for this one. Hudson are pretty much the king of shooters on the PC Engine, as you know. This one starts off with cracking pace, with ships that are a cross between standard baddies and bosses. The first level is a bit of a disappointment in a lot of ways, because you get this enormous mothership landing which takes up about half the screen. So there you are at the bottom, trying to avoid these bullets coming at you from the front and back, trying to do some damage to the scenery. But it speeds up again after that, and you see that lovely parallax background there coming up. Absolutely gorgeous. This will really get your adrenaline racing. The speed that the bullets come out of your ship is unbelievable. You really like firing bullets in this game. I take immense pleasure from pressing trigger button on this one. I think this is level 2 here. It's another sort of mecha cavern level type of thing. Brilliant backgrounds. The thing that's so great about this game is it's in your face. It's very, very fast. You don't get much time to admire the scenery. And it's loud and it's raucous and there's a heavy metal soundtrack. It really all adds up to a stunning game. Definitely one of my top 5. It's relatively cheap as well. You can only expect to pay about 25 quid for this one, which is about $40. A real good buy. Probably the cheapest one actually on this video. Moving swiftly on, here we have Soulja Blade. The 4th in the Star Soldier series by Hudson Soft, if you count Gunhead as the first one, that is. But some people don't. I don't know why they don't. Now the backgrounds in Soulja Blade are unbelievably good for the 8-bit hue card format. You'll notice all the other games in this gold list are Super CD-ROMs, mainly just because the music's a bit better. Spend a bit more time, the frame rate's high and all these, but Star Soldier is just a classic game. There's so much variation. Every level chucks at you something different. Again, I've only really played the first 2 levels on this one, but look at the enemies. I mean, look at the size of those bloody things. Now, if you look at some other gameplay videos on YouTube of this game, you'll see that the boss battles are just extraordinary. They go on for ages and the ships keep transforming and chucking stuff at you like crazy. Never know really whether I like sky levels or not. That little bit of background poking through is good. It reminds me of the Virtual Boy game called Vertical Force, again by Hudson. That's a game I'll probably review at some point because it's fucking amazing. Look at that bridge, the way it goes over the top. On Vertical Force, you can actually kind of go under scenery and over scenery because of 3D effects. There are 2 levels of play on. I shouldn't really be reviewing a fucking Virtual Boy game, should I? Should be sticking to this one, but I thoroughly recommend Vertical Force. Back to Soulja Blade. I mean, look at those aliens. This thing's a hue card and it's just coming up with just new sprite after new sprite. There's so many sprites, you just lose your way. This enormous tank is a real bastard to defeat actually. I don't think I've ever got past it. You get to the top of it and all this shit going on. You can barely see what you're doing. No wonder I died. There you go, game over. This is Spriggan 2, Spriggan Mark 2. It's made by a different developer. I don't think this was made by Toplan, like the first one was. But you'll see, as soon as you get started, there's a cracking amount of detail in the background. There's something like 20 layers of parallax going on there. It's crazy. Occasionally your guys come on like they do in the first one and support you. Look at that, there's another one of those nuclear flashes. Fantastic. Your guy comes on the top of the screen there and just gives you a bit of extra firepower. And I think that guy with the big gun is showing off, don't you? I don't really know what's going on here, but it's some nice 3D effects. Level 2 is the ubiquitous Meteor Storm level. But the way you can just carve through those boulders and split them into fragments is absolutely amazing. It's so well animated, it makes you feel good about yourself. A lot of these big enemies appear more than once, but to be honest, you'll be so busy fighting them that you won't notice. Look, there it is again. And they've got sort of animated gun turrets, which I think is a nice feature. And this game runs crackingly fast, 60 frames a second all the way. Final game is Super Aiden. This has got, I think it's 3 extra levels compared to the hue card version, which is just called Raiden. One of the long series of Raiden games, which are just absolute classics on every system. Particularly like Raiden 3 came out on the PlayStation 2. Super Aiden, the soundtrack is amazing, the sound effects are just off the bloody scale. Explosions and firing, and just the music's great. They put a lot of effort into the animation on this game. There's more animated explosions like that than you see in those shooting ups. It's really punchy. It's absolutely incredible, this game. I thoroughly recommend it. Not cheap though, 50 quid for this one. And going back to Soulja Blade, that's about 50 quid as well. So These games aren't cheap, but they are some of the best games on the PC Engine. The first few levels of Super Aiden are basically sort of army war levels, but it does progress later into a space shoot 'em up. Well, that's it from Gary. Sorry it's been a bit quick, but there you go.